or the other one? The other one shows more.
Yeah, I kind of like the other one better.
Do you?
Yeah. It does show more of the background, the other one. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Oh, great. You see the inside of my closet. Hold on.
You can see my McLovin poster back there in the corner.
People invite. Where'd my chat go? There it is.
Oh, yeah. I got to put chat up.
Kristen, Doreen, good to see you. Welcome to the Three View Mirror. Good to see you guys. Give it a couple minutes. How's your week going, guys?
Good. My head's not attached. Doreen, thank you for asking. My son is doing fantastic. He is such a trooper. He's healing well. His broken neck. He's probably going to get his collar off in a couple of weeks. And thank you, Cindy, also for asking. Last week was a really intense, I think, episode for everyone here and for all of the regulars here. I rewatched it then, and I was like, I was crying after that. So yeah, he's doing wonderful.
I need my eyes, man. Is it game time? Says CNK Tube, YouTube, something. Yes. Soap Docs, how are you? Good to see you.
Australia.
Kimmy TVA coming in from Australia.
Nice.
Yeah, it's game time. Well, first of all, welcome to Three View Mirror, a podcast, a show, a chance for three friends in front of a live, or at least virtually live studio audience, talk about three different topics ranging three different decades, and treating the whole thing like it was a Cracker Jack box, meaning that there's a hidden surprise in the episode itself. And for our episodes, that hidden surprise is a connection. It's a connection that at the end of the show, you got to try to put together. So today's host is me. I've got three different topics, and within those three different topics is a connection that at the end of our 45 minutes, you have 15 minutes to guess and talk about. I'm joined with two of my friends. I'll introduce myself first, I guess. John Kotredes, known as Gen X Jono across social media platforms. You can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. And I talk about all things 70s, 80s, and 90s. Shell?
And I'm Rochelle O'Black, often known as Gen X Shell online across all of my socials. I'm seeing the well wishes for Alex and my family coming in. And I just want to tell you, I'm so appreciative after last week's very special episode. It is just, it's heartwarming for me. And I just feel so blessed to be a part of this community. So thank you.
And I'm Chris Clues, better known as Chris Clues, speaker and author that focuses on the life and work lessons that we can learn from 80s pop culture. You can find my books on Amazon or wherever you might buy books, and I may be in your city at some point speaking.
Sweet. And this is the Three View Mirror.
Serial killers in here again with the Calvin Kleins and the Wind Beneath My Wings and Tom Petty. And that just is a perfect reminder for everyone that we, if you're new here, Serial Killer always gives us some of our bloopers in there. But if you're new here, don't give away the connection in the comments. John says it really well.
We're gonna talk about each of these three topics for about 15 minutes, and then at the end, it'll leave 15 minutes where you guys can do your best Horseshack imitation and raise your hand, yelling "ooh ooh 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 ooh." We'll call on you, and we'll see if you can guess it. But I got three topics today. Topic number one: 70s were filled with variety shows. Now, specifically, the one that I'm going to bring up is Sonny and Cher, but there were a lot more. 80s. 70s, 80s, even into the 90s. Topic number two, Saturday Night Live. Who were some of your favorite cast members? What were some of your favorite skits? What do you remember? And then topic number three, since the first two are so fun and light, I figured we'd talk about divorce, because nothing says you were a kid growing up in the 80s like divorced parents leaving you home alone.
Interesting.
So, yeah, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, hold on. I'll type them in. Hold on. I'm going to type them in.
Gotcha. Sonny and Cher, Saturday Night Live, and Divorce. And I promise you, those three things connect to something. We won't get into Linda. Shh. Shh. Take it easy. All right, we can start with Sonny and Cher. And we can broaden it out. Now, I remember watching Sonny and Cher. I'm a little older than you, Shell. I'm the same age as you, Chris. But the 70s were Sonny and Cher, Donnie and Marie, Tony Orlando and Dawn, Captain and Tennille, the Carol Burnett Show, the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Give us some more out of the virtually live audience. But do you guys remember watching any variety shows with your parents?
Gong Show.
Yes, the Gong Show.
Gong Show.
Yeah, that was the one that I remember. Like
Smothers Brothers, says JTR. Barbara Mandrell sisters had one. I think Hee Haw can count as one, even though it was on a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Gong Show because I was mentioning it last week that it's like everybody was so coked out of their mind on that show. It's just only in the 70s could that show be, aired on television at a time when kids could watch it. I don't think I remember about Sonny and Cher is that my parents, I think it was my dad, had an 8-track of Sonny and Cher. I don't know why I always remember that particular 8-track, but he had an 8-track of Sonny and Cher, and you could put it into the 8-track deck in the car.
Even the Muppet Show, which is making a comeback now, was literally a variety show. And when I look at different channels on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook Reels, a lot of us creators almost follow the same format because a variety show had skits, had costuming, had music, had dancing. It brought in a little bit of everything in order to you could not be on a variety show and not have massive amounts of talent. You had to have comedic timing. You had to be able to sing. You had to be able to dance. If you were Donnie and Marie, they even ice skated at the beginning. They would come in to introduce the show during this massive ice capades routine. There was one, I don't remember which one it was. Maybe one of you or the audience can help. But it opened up to these people jumping into a pool and doing a routine in the pool and stuff. It was insane what they would pull off with these variety shows.
What time were these on? Because I don't recall, I recall knowing about them, but I've never watched Sonny and Cher. I never watched Donnie and Marie Donnie and Marie. And a lot of the ones that you mentioned, the Muppets, things, Laughing. Yes, I've seen those, but there's a lot that I didn't. Were they a primetime thing?
They were a primetime. And the thing that makes them different, the Muppet Show works. Laughing, the Gong Show, those are a little different because a staple of the variety show is you had hosts and then you had special guests. It was like a love show, like the Love Boat, but instead of having it scripted, it was just they would come on and there'd be different guests every week that would come on. They would have script. It was just a very special thing. And it hit its heyday. I would guess between 1975, 1980, maybe a little bit into the 80s. But it was a creature of the late 70s, early 80s. And it was that family hour. Exactly, Sherry. Exactly, Lola, 8 to 9.
Somebody mentioned
that family hour because they knew one TV in the house. All of us were going to be around the TV. And this was... You'd have something in there for the kids, something in there for the adults. It was fun for the whole family.
Somebody mentioned it wasn't, I don't know if it was a variety show, but That's Incredible, which was around the same time. Early 80s.
Yeah.
Wasn't exactly
different. I mean, the point of that was to show these incredible things that were hard to believe.
Yeah.
Honestly, the variety show was we're going to entertain you with skits, dance routines, special guests, comedy, and we're going to sing. Captain and Tennille, all of them, they always sang. They sang at the beginning. They sang at the end. It was a very special moment in time. They tried to bring it back. It doesn't work.
When did they bring it back? What are you referring to?
Rosie O'Donnell tried to do a big variety show. It lasted 3 episodes. And some people could say it's because they didn't like her, but the format just doesn't work. A couple of different stars have tried to pitch it and bring it back, and it doesn't work.
I think probably because the internet is almost a variety show now. So
Yeah.
you don't really, I mean, back then we didn't have anything like it. So if we wanted to see that kind of stuff, it was on whatever it was, that particular variety show. But the internet now is just a variety show at your fingertips.
I'm a little upset that I've seen like every episode of the Brady Bunch like ever made, like ad nauseum, like 5 and 6 times each whenever they went into syndication. But I've never actually seen an episode of the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, and I'm a little.
The premise was they were still the characters. So the premise was that somebody walked into the Brady Bunch house and said, "Hey, we'd like to put you guys on TV." So it wasn't the actors doing a variety show. It was literally the Brady family with a fake Jan, because Jan didn't want to do it. So they had to replace her. And that woman will forever be known as fake Jan in Brady Bunch lore. But they literally became like a variety show. And Mr. Brady, Robert Reed, wasn't even in the final episode of the Brady Bunch because he finally had enough. He hated the show so much. But he loved the idea of being able to sing and dance on a variety show. So that was able to lure him back. It was awesome.
There's so many coming through the comments that I didn't even think of. Like someone said the Monkees and Banana Splits, and then there was another few of them that went through there. And I guess there was more than I even thought that there were.
There were a ton of them. I don't think I could list them all. It was a huge fixture of television for a while. They couldn't put them on TV fast enough.
They're now they're contests. So like America's Got Talent would be the closest thing to kind of like a variety show, because you're getting comedy, music, all kinds of crazy stunts. But you know, it's a contest to actually change your life and win $1 million. When the last, when the variety shows back in the day were more people who were already established for the most part, unless it was the Gong Show.
Yeah, Partridge Family went ahead and did one. I think they had a special. The budgets were enormous. They were able to bring in big names. The costuming, like the gowns the women would wear, the guys would come out in tuxedos. The script. Carol Burnett was a variety show. Yeah. Even she would bring in special guests, and she sang in it, and they did the scripts, and they had dance routines. It still fit that mold.
The late night shows were almost variety shows in some ways too, like Johnny Carson, for example. I mean, he had his, sit down interviews with people, but there was a lot of stuff going on, even early David Letterman, where you had, Pets,
Stupid
Petrix. And then they'd always have a comedian, almost always have some kind of comedian or a band. So a lot of, those late night shows at the beginning were certainly variety shows.
And somebody, Jay Boozy, said, George Burns, that's where they came from. To your point, there were these late night talk shows that did Ed Sullivan Show, George Burns, those morphed into this. They were around, if you go back to Ed Sullivan and those shows for 20, and they've completely disappeared off you don't see. And now I realize why, Chris, you're right. A lot of it is, in fact, the internet. I just remember it as being, everybody stopped. Life stopped. When Carol Burnett came on, everything in my house stopped. My mom was at the TV. My dad was at the TV. Us kids were at the TV. And everyone was just laughing at them break character. There was just something for everybody in it. If I hear, I'm so glad we had this time together, and I see Carol Burnett pull on her ear, it does something to me. It's a piece of my very, very young childhood.
And somebody else mentioned, because our second topic is SNL, that itself is a variety show.
Yeah. It morphed into it.
Yeah.
Changed, became late night, to Chris's point, kind of like the late night talk shows. It morphed over. But Donnie and Marie were like, I think she was 16. He might have been 17 or 18 when they did it. They had the Osmond brothers. There were so many different types of variety shows that they really try to make something out of it for everybody. Donnie and Marie, you said you've never seen, so you've never heard she did the I'm a little bit country. He would do I'm a little bit rock and roll. Does anybody remember that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was their big thing.
Wasn't there another country one besides Hee Haw?
Mandrell sisters had one. 3 sisters. They were very country. I don't know if there was another one.
Yes. Somebody mentioned Battle of the Network Stars.
What about one? Somebody mentioned they mentioned In Living Color, which is more modern, but then somebody else mentioned That's Incredible, which I actually remembered watching that show. But wasn't there another one that was like they pranked people?
Well,
And it
Candid Camera.
Candid Camera.
Candid Camera, that's the one I'm thinking of. Candid Camera. Yeah, I don't know. Would you consider that a variety show in a way?
Because again, there's three things that really made it variety. One was that variety, meaning they did a little bit of everything. The second is that there were the hosts, and then that they brought in special celebrity guests every single episode. Somebody would be on. They would come out in front of the audience and introduce themselves, do a singing number, and then say, "Welcome to the show. Tonight's guests are boom, 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 boom." And then they'd go into it. And there would be, like I said, skits and dancing. And if you were the Brady Bunch, there'd be synchronized swimmers at the beginning, like the stage would open. And all of a sudden, there'd be these women in Follies costumes jumping into a pool. It's so nonsensical. Donnie and Marie literally came out on ice skates. And there'd be like this huge dance routine on ice skates, like it was the Ice Capades. They'd come out on skates, the floor would close, and then they'd have a regular show. Why ice? I don't know.
Because they could. Because they could ice skate.
And I mean, I think Kevin Pearpoint said Donnie and Marie were a little flowers in the attic. I always say little bit country, little bit rock and roll, little bit Sweet Home Alabama. They had a chemistry that was a little disconcerting, but they still look good. They still look very young.
And there was one called Real People as well, but I which kind of had some stuff too. It wasn't really a variety show, but somebody mentioned Real People. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Gong Show, I think, was like reality TV, like the start of reality TV there in a way.
It was
a talent show, a reality TV talent show. It was like our version of America's Got Talent. Although you did, it really is almost like not even America's Got Talent. I think it's more like American Idol, because they intentionally put people on that were horrible, and that's a staple of American Idol. They didn't just put the good people on.
It used to be. Then people got too sensitive. But back when American Idol started, that was part of the shtick, is that they would put the worst auditions. Then people got sensitive and they don't do it anymore.
Really? That was the reason we used to watch it, was to watch the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And a couple people became like famous from it and made a lot of money from not being good. So I feel like when they do that kind of stuff, they're actually taking opportunity away from some people who are just kind of like having fun or being silly, or maybe they don't even know, but boom, there's their opportunity. They make a little bit of money in a short period of time, and good for them. But they took it away. And the Gong Show was just like, we're going to just destroy you. We don't care. Like, we're going to make fun of you and destroy you if you're bad.
Well, and to your point, Chris, and a couple of people in the comments, this moved on, right? It became something else. It's gone. You don't see it anymore. But if you were a 70s kid, you remember variety shows. Now, if you're an 80s kid, your version of the variety show probably was Saturday Night Live, starting with the not ready for primetime players. Every generation has their favorite SNL cast, whether it was Mr. Robinson and that cast originally. There have been so many throughout. The Dana Harvey group I liked a lot. There's been a bunch. Hit me up with your Saturday Night Live memories.
I mean, I remember the very first ones with Jane Curtin and John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase and Gilda Radner. Garrett Morris. That was like the core original group, and they were awesome. And then they handed it off, kind of like there was a transition period, but you had like the Eddie Murphy group come in, although they kind of commingled those two groups a little bit. And Saturday Night Live was amazing. And then it had an issue. It wasn't funny for a little bit. And then you had Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and Kevin Nealon and that whole crew, come David Spade. And that was a great crew. I would say for me, it was probably like the Eddie Murphy crew and the Chris Farley, David Spade, Adam Sandler crew were my favorites.
That's what I said. Like you could quote. We quoted Saturday Night Live episodes in high school when it was, like making copies. What
was that thing you were doing?
Everybody knows this.
This was a TikTok trend.
That was Farley when he did the dance. The
Oh,
Playboy
Chippendale?
dance.
The Chippendale.
Chippendale dance.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember him. His dance was like fat guy and a little girl. I mean, that wasn't Saturday Night Live, but that's the dance I remember.
A van down by the river.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm loving the comments. I'm getting lost in the comments.
Mr. Bill was great.
Chopping broccoli.
Two wild and crazy guys. It's for me, SNL though started at its earliest. My earliest memories are Eddie Murphy and Mr. Robinson. Definitely Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill is probably one of my core memories. I must have been so little, but at that point in time, SNL meant I was up later than I shouldn't have been. Yeah. My parents were out of town. My parents were out of the house. I was spending the night. I was not supposed to be watching it, and yet I was. So for me, that's my earliest SNL memory, is that I'm awake when I shouldn't be, watching something I shouldn't be watching.
The church lady, somebody said,
the Bears.
Well, isn't that special?
Not special.
Not special. Mm-hmm. And then somebody mentioned the guy in front of the mirror on SNL. That was Stuart Smalley. I'm good enough.
And doggone it, people
like me. The best was when they had Michael Jordan on that one. He had him do it in the mirror. Like when Michael Jordan was in his prime, the best player in the world. He's like, I want you to look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough. And Michael Jordan is almost crying. He's laughing so much. Like, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me.
Well, much like the Carol Burnett show, my favorite Carol Burnett show moments were when they broke the fourth wall, when they broke character, when they couldn't hold it together. There's a Debbie Downer skit where they're at Disney World and they break character. And that is like one of my favorites because they cannot keep it together. It was Saturday Night Live. There were no redos. They messed up. They messed up in front of the whole world. And that's part of what I loved about it.
Christina Applegate and David Spade broke character in a Down by the River Chris Farley episode that was absolutely hilarious as well.
Yeah, they would. I mean, you would see these guys like it's funny. Like back in the day, you didn't see them break character as much, but then like Will Ferrell got people breaking character all the time, especially with More Cowbell. If you go back and watch the More Cowbell skit, you see them all. They cannot, like, they have to, like, they're trying to hide from the camera because they're laughing so hard. More Cowbell.
Do you remember the when what's his face did the little monkey that would go and like blow in people's ears in the office? What was Chris Kattan? He did the little monkey. Awesome. He did the little monkey boy thing where he would come and eat people's lunch in the office and just stupid. And nobody has mentioned Wayne's World, I don't think yet. I haven't seen Wayne's World
up there. Dude, they were flying so fast and furious. And we still haven't even cracked. I mean, there's still more. And as much as they were really good SNL skits, there were some that I just never understood. Yeah. People mentioned Coneheads. Never thought Coneheads was funny. I never quite understood it. And the only worse than the Coneheads skit was the Coneheads movie. I'm like, it wasn't funny enough for the skit. They made a movie out of it. We haven't mentioned Pat. I thought Pat was hilarious.
It's Pat.
I just wanted to know which is it, but you know, you never did.
Somebody mentioned Sweaty Balls.
Sweaty Balls.
Pete Sweaty. Oh, I'm 50 years old. I'm kicking and I'm
Gannon, right?
The Candygram.
Landshark.
Now we are 50. And I don't like to kick and stretch.
Oh, Toonces the driving cat. I forgot about Toonces. Oh,
yeah, Big
Jeopardy with Norm Macdonald. And somebody mentioned Dennis Miller and the news section, which sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. The crew they've got now, I think are hilarious. If you haven't seen Saturday Night Live, you could just binge watch the news portion. Look up, I think it's New Year's Eve. They each write each other's jokes. And they just do these savage jokes that should never be said. And what they're trying to do is break the other guy. So that segment is hilarious.
What was the one? It was so Like, I mean, they got away with it. I don't know if they could do it today, but it was Adam Sandler and Alec Baldwin, when Alec Baldwin was the scout leader and Adam Sandler played Canteen Boy. He's like, come on over here and sit on my lap, Canteen Boy. It's so bad. It
My
was
dick in a box. I mean, they don't actually say what's in the box, but that's what was in the box.
Mhm.
the most recent one. Like, I don't really find it funny anymore, but there was one. There have been two skits recently. One was the Beavis and Butthead, where they were in the audience. And who's the guy who played Ken and Barbie? Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Plays, I think he plays Beavis, and one of the other guys. It's hilarious, and they break, like they absolutely break like character. They can't contain it. And the other one is the one, if you look it up, it's about the they're creating like the English language after the Revolutionary War, and they're talking about the different things that they're going to call things like miles and pounds and all this. It's very funny, but by and large, it's the old stuff is the best.
Richard Pryor playing the Exorcist and the one girl, the thin girl in the early 70s. I can't think of her name at the moment, but Richard Pryor was the Exorcist, playing the Exorcist, trying to get.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah, well,
Richard Pryor was, he was on for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He had a couple good skits with Chevy Chase that they could never do today.
And they didn't get away. There's also, so we got SNL, we got funny. We can talk about the fact that they were always almost cutting edge when it came to their musical guests. They had people on there. And then there was also like a ton of controversy that I almost forgot that circled around SNL. There were tons of events on SNL that became newsworthy. Sinead O'Connor ripping up the picture of the Pope.
That's right.
People that didn't grow up in the 80s will, in 90s, will not understand how much power in the mid 80s to the early 90s the Catholic Church had. You could not rip up a picture of the Pope on television and still have a career when that moment ended. That was it. That ended her.
Mm-hmm. It really
Ashley
did.
Simpson lip sync scandal. She got on there, was singing, and then it all cut out, and then you heard her actual voice.
I remember that one.
Canteen Boy is a big one.
I
Andrew
don't
Dice
care.
Clay.
I don't care. Canteen Boy is hilarious. I don't care.
Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor word association. Basically just an entire skit of racial slurs.
Yeah, that's when I said they could never, ever. I mean,
He says did, honky. That's
yeah.
And that's the least of what he said.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So yeah, I mean, incredible. Just moments after moments after moments. Safety auto glass commercial. A sketch where a technician breaks a customer's windshield to flirt with her 12-year-old daughter. They pushed the envelope. And the comedians did too. Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin, Andrew Dice Clay, Dennis Miller. Just the amount of people that walked through those doors, whether it was for a long time or a little time, it's incredible.
Schmidt's Gay Beer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Farley.
Yeah.
Kevin says Richard Pryor came up with that skit. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's right. He did come up with that skit. I saw that on a documentary, actually. Maybe it was an SNL documentary when they were talking about that particular skit, which will remain unnamed. That Chris Farley, that little run, that little couple of years where Chris Farley, David Spade, and Adam Sandler were doing a lot of skits together. Somebody mentioned Adam Sandler singing on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I mean, some of his songs like the Hanukkah song and Lunch Lady Land, they came from Saturday Night Live skits. And I remember the first time hearing him sing, it was actually on the news, whatever they call the news desk. And it was one of his first episodes. And they had him do a song. I think it was the Thanksgiving song, Turkey for Me and a Turkey for You.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have turkey in a big brown shoe.
Do you remember?
Martin Short. We haven't even talked about Martin Short. Shell, you did a bit on your TikTok that if I come across it to this day, if ever you did something that I thought should have gone super viral and didn't, it's you doing the takeoff of Martin Short as an Olympic swimmer. Shell is in her pool.
Synchronized swimmer?
Dude, Shell is mocking that and she nails it. But that is one of my favorite SNL skits where he's like, I don't swim very well.
I'm not that strong of a
And he's
swimmer.
got his floaties.
He's like, I'm not that strong of a swimmer.
I liked one of my favorite comedians that came out of Saturday Night Live, actually, in a lot of the movies that he did afterwards, is Jason Sudeikis. I love Jason Sudeikis. I think he's hilarious. I used to like when he would do the commentary for like the bowling league, and he would say, now sponsored by Douche, Women's Douche, you know, and he would just make stupid commercials inside of commentary for, and the same thing goes with, I don't know, it was stupid, the Sherry O'Terry, Will Ferrell, the cheerleader episodes where they were cheering on something like synchronized swimming, and they would, you know, do this, and it was hilarious.
And we can't let Saturday Night Live go without everything we talked about is true. The one thing we haven't mentioned is the political commentary. They roasted politicians throughout, and it changed. Initially, the first one I remember mostly seeing reruns of was Chevy Chase doing Ford. And it was just Chevy Chase pretending to be President Ford. There was no costuming. There was no makeup, no effort to make him look like Gerald Ford. He just kept falling around the office. But as time went on, they hired people specifically to be dead ringers for politicians. The Ross Perot jokes I thought were on fire. 1,000 Points of Light with the older George Bush, Bill Clinton. Without being political at all, the only thing I can say about Saturday Night Live that disappointed me a little, I like it when they roast everyone equally. They need to be stepping, and I'm not saying this as somebody who's on the right or on the left, because if you know me, I'm neither. I just think that it's a place to get away from all that and just roast them all, burn them all to the ground and make fun of all of them. Because I love that stuff.
Dana Carvey was great as Bush,
perfect.
With Ross Perot.
Yeah,
they were doing the debate, and he's like, "I can't believe I'm losing to these guys."
You know, wait, the one, I can't even think of her name at the moment. It's going to pop into my head, where she was Spicy. Remember Spicy, who used to be the news. The person who used to do the press conferences at the White House, and they called him Spicy. What was his name? The real person. Oh, jeez. Anyway, and Melissa McCarthy came up and she was ramming people with her podium. Somebody's going to remember that when it was hilarious.
You were mentioning
Pennsylvania. Maybe that was a Pennsylvania thing. Was that Pennsylvania Night Live, where they just throw corn at the TV screen?
When you were mentioning movies earlier that came out of Saturday Night Live, because you had Wayne's World, you had The Night at the Roxbury, which I thought was just stupid funny.
Even
and then you had
a movie.
You had a skit that was a great, funny skit, but the movie was terrible. And that was Superstar. Like that skit was hilarious with Molly Shannon. Yes. Superstar. But the movie
had a movie.
So
Wayne's World had a movie. I'm telling you, Toons is the Cat, I think, had a movie. Coneheads had a movie. Then they started making other movies. There was MTV Films. I think something about Mary might have been an MTV film.
John Spicer.
I saw it. I put it on the screen for you.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about one that we're missing that came from Saturday Night Live that was actually really good. And it's, oh, man.
And then the only other thing I'll mention is people showed SCTV. Lorne Michael actually walked away from Saturday Night for a little while. Jeez, and he produced, oh, my God, now it's just going out of my head. I'm squishing your head. It was Canadians.
The Halls.
Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall. Thank you. Yeah.
When SNL stopped being funny, I pivoted over, and Kids in the Hall picked up the slack to where it was, and then Mad TV came in and did a little bit about that too.
I think SNL went through waves. There would be times when I would watch it religiously. Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers, which John hasn't seen.
That's right.
I tried. It's no good.
Yeah. With Carrie Fisher, because Carrie Fisher was in the Blues Brothers. That was one of my clues that one time.
God, we could talk about Saturday Night Live all night.
I don't think we've ever done it as its own thing.
I don't think we have either, actually. We've talked about people who were on Saturday Night Live, and then it came up in those conversations. But Yeah, I just remember it was like they just there is an SNL skit, and there's also a movie called Saturday. I think it's called Saturday Night, about the very first episode.
I saw that.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's fascinating.
Carol Burnett was never invited to host Saturday Night Live. That's ridiculous. Now I don't like Lauren Michael either.
Betty White was one of those people that they actually campaigned. It was like social media that campaigned to get Betty White to be a host because she had never been a host. She was fantastic. Do you remember her in the prison scene when she was the host?
I don't think I saw her as the one she was a host.
Oh, she was fantastic. She was a fantastic woman no matter what. But yeah.
I loved her everywhere I saw her. She does The Middle is one of my favorite little sitcoms that most people never watch. We watched it all the way through. She's a librarian in there. Oh, stop mocking me. If you watch Blues Brothers for the first time at 56 years old, you wouldn't think it was funny either.
Gumby.
I'm getting grilled over there.
Somebody mentioned Gumby when Eddie Murphy played Gumby.
Damn it.
That was so
Gumby,
good.
damn it. I'm Gumby, damn it.
I mean, listen, I knew I tried to pick fairly broad topics. I knew SNL would be very broad. Oh my God, the ambiguously gay duo.
Uh-huh.
That was hilarious. The fact that was such a takeoff, that felt like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was definitely making fun of Batman and Robin.
Oh, without a doubt.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably just honestly scratched the surface of all of the skits and the actors and actresses, and a lot of them you don't even realize. Sometimes you think somebody was really funny and you're like, that's a really good actress or actress, they're funny. You don't even realize they got their start on Saturday Night Live because they were only there for one season.
Yeah.
Or they were there during like a dead time when it wasn't very good.
You just nailed Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whom I love. I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
I really had no idea she was on SNL. She was on in one of those dead zones where there wasn't a huge cast and just like flew under the radar. I never knew that until maybe a year or two ago.
She is fabulous. Okay. She's hilarious. She's funny. I loved her in Seinfeld. I love her. She has a podcast now, all kinds of things. Never saw the presidential show that she was on.
Oh, Beep is phenomenal.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it.
Beginning to end, I am so jealous. I wish I hadn't seen it so I could watch it again. It is that good.
Well, when she was on Saturday Night Live, she was not very good. Like she was like I don't know if she quit or if she was fired because she really wasn't all that great on Saturday Night Live. But kudos to her because she is actually hilarious. She might have got the bad scripts.
I mean, people forget and Robert Downey Jr. Like it just
Anthony Michael Hall, yeah.
That was a bad time for SNL, which is they just did not have it didn't work. And the thing is, to your point, Shell, like it's one thing to be a good comedic actor or actress when you have takes and you have time to redo it or think about it. It's a whole different ballgame when it's live. Like it's different. Even great comedians, like my buddy is a really, really talented comedic writer in Hollywood. Like he's written movies you probably have seen. And when I decided to do a little stand-up for fun, he said, "Are you crazy?" And I said, You're the guy that like you do comedy. He's like, I write it. Standing on stage and trying to make people laugh live is a completely different ballgame. It's totally different than having a camera where I screwed that up. Let's do it again. Or let's try it from this angle. Or can I add this line? And so even with people that are super talented, that is a different kind of talent. Saturday Night Live. And then you go to Whose Line Is It Anyway? And those guys are extraordinary.
Complete improv. But you've watched people completely crash and burn on SNL. Mm-hmm. They practice, they rehearse, that's fine. They even say it. Skits they think it's going to be okay. They contemplate pulling it, and they just go for it. And they're on stage in front of a live audience, and you just never know what's going to happen. And then there's just a couple scenes that always stick with my head that are not we lost Rebecca from Cheers.
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley is a host. She's doing the monologue. The monologue is probably the single most dangerous thing a host is going to do on SNL. They can burn a skit. That's okay. It's over in 2-3 minutes. That monologue is just them. They're front and center. And I mean, there's ones I remember forever as being awesome. And there's ones where you're like, man, this is so bad. Kirstie Alley's is one I remember being great because she's talking about missing Cheers. And then one by one, Woody's in the audience singing the Cheers song. All of the cast, and this is like 5 years after the show ended, were there for her. And that was an awesome moment. Some really good monologues, some really bad monologues, some really, really good musical guests, some horrible musical guests.
Mm-hmm.
It's live, to Pam Beth's point.
You know, the only way that you could get tickets for Saturday Night Live is a lottery that you just I think it's August or so, you put your name in for the lottery. I had a friend who actually met Chevy Chase by actually putting her name in for the lottery. She got the tickets and she was actually at the taping of a show. And she said Chevy was not a very nice person.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. But anyway, that's how you get your tickets is every year, everybody has an equal opportunity to be a guest, or not a guest, in the live studio audience.
And it is quintessential New York. I keep saying the last thing I'm going to say because I keep meaning to move on, but there's so much. After 9/11, one of the early returns to normalcy that I can remember is Saturday Night Live coming back. That they made a decision to come back on the air because they thought the business of comedy was important. I just lost my ring light. I went dark.
Now we're seeing the real John.
No.
No.
I don't know what happened.
Weekend update. We lost Norm Macdonald. I loved him whenever he was the host. I didn't care for Weekend Update way back when like Chevy Chase was doing it. I didn't get the humor of it. But I'll tell you, one of my favorite Weekend Updates besides Norm Macdonald and the current cast is actually Michael Che and
Michael Che and Probst, Colin
yeah,
Joe. Dennis Miller?
Dennis Miller. Yes, I loved Dennis Miller as the host. I thought he was hilarious when he would do this with his hair and do all of that. And I actually liked him when he was on Monday Night Football. It's unpopular opinion.
Somebody goes, we can't see the baby blues. Oh no, Mr. Bill. When my ring light went out, my eyes went back to normal gray.
You have brown eyes, John.
I took out the contact lenses. Oh my God. All right. So we've talked about variety shows. From that, I think we seamlessly moved into SNL because, that's the way I do things. I make sure my topics are like a puzzle that just magically comes to, and they just fit. So, of course, now we're going to talk about divorce because I didn't realize, I knew we were latchkey kids. I knew part of the reason was women were going back to work and it was 2-income households. I didn't realize the explosion of divorce that happened in the 70s and 80s, and that since 1986, divorce rates have been steadily going down. It was literally, we talk about what makes Gen X Gen X. I didn't realize how specific to our generation divorce was. Boomers didn't go through nearly, it was like a fraction of the divorced households. And today is a fraction of the divorced households. It is nothing like what we experienced. Shelley, your parents stayed married your whole life?
Yeah, in fact, divorce was never really part of any members of our family. I honestly can only think of one family person who is divorced.
You grew up in rural Pennsylvania, so they were related before marriage. So I mean, closer families where you grew up.
No, my mom and dad, my husband's mom and dad are each of our grandparents. None of them. There really wasn't any divorce.
Chris,
I'm divorced, but from previously. Yeah. I was like an 18-year-old that got married, and you see where that goes. 2 years later.
Suddenly, that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
We talked about your whole years.
Yeah, my whole years. Yeah, my whole years. Right. They haven't ended. Just saying. That's why I'm still married. I'm still married. So that's all I can say. So,
Parents, Chris, divorce? No.
Oh yeah, they got divorced when I was 10. Nasty, bad divorce, which is why I probably never been married. I'm sure there's something psychological in there. But,
Two things statistically that came out of us being the children of divorce. Either we didn't get married, and if we did, we stayed married longer. Gen X has a very low divorce rate as compared to our parents. The other thing is the statistics we grew up knowing were always wrong. We grew up hearing that 50% of all marriages end in divorce, thinking that that meant that 50% of parents that people that get married get divorced. And that's not the way that statistic works. People that get divorced are more likely to get divorced again. So they skew that statistic. People get married 2 or 3 times, but not half of all people get divorced. My parents also got divorced.
Listen, because the comments are rolling by and people are like laughing about something. And my husband's in the comments and he's like, what are you talking about? I go like tears. So I did not mean to interrupt you and totally not listen to you, John.
No, it's okay. I just remember being in middle school and like watching shows like Happy Days when Fonzie dated a divorcee, and it was like a big deal on the show. Brady Bunch, and you always knew that Mr. Brady's wife died. You never knew what happened to Mrs. Brady's husband, and apparently they got divorced but couldn't say it. That was 10 years before we came. That was the 60s.
You couldn't show a toilet either.
What's that?
You couldn't show a toilet and
right.
Yeah.
But also, I wonder too, like what the divorce rate would have been if people would have been willing to do it. A lot of people stay together for the kids. They stay together because it's a religious thing. They stay together for all kinds of reasons when other people go ahead and get divorced. And so I think the divorce rate is higher. It's just that people divorce in their house, but they don't actually get divorced.
Well, so the reason divorce exploded was, number one, it became socially acceptable. It stopped being stigmatized. And number two, no fault divorce became the default divorce. Before that, in most states, you had to sue for divorce. You had to show a judge a good reason. You had to be allowed the divorce. It was sticky. It was, it just, that all changed. But I do think it's interesting that it spiked for a little while and leveled off. And some people, like to your point, some people say, "Oh, I can't afford to get divorced." We're divorced in reality and married in name only. But even taking that into play, divorce isn't what it was when we were kids. I started saying nobody I knew had divorced parents. By the time I graduated, easily half my friends, myself included, their parents got divorced.
Well, the marriage rate is plummeting too. That's why there's less divorces. People aren't getting married anymore. So you're going to have less divorces. I think the latchkey kid though, that came out of the 80s was, a lot of it, you mentioned the parents going back to work. Yes. But a lot of it was because kids were, of divorce. And so you came home, you had a key to the house, you let yourself in, your parent, mom or dad, whoever it was working. The other parent wasn't in the home. And so you just kind of took care of yourself. And I don't know. That's, to me, like the thing about divorce that always got me, and I always tell my friends this when they're like, struggling or whatever. I'm like, look, if you guys get divorced, the one thing don't send the kids to the psychologist. You guys need to go. Because as a kid, I was like 10 years old, right? But I was 12. I was like acting out over all this stuff. They send me to the psychologist. First question is like, why are you here? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Like, I wasn't the one who got divorced. My parents did. They should be sitting in front of you. I should be playing baseball. What's going on? So there was a whole, like, I think it became easier and socially acceptable, but I also think people didn't grasp the ramifications on their kids because there hadn't been this wholesale divorce generation. And so people just willy-nilly did it and then didn't even realize that these kids were like, what just happened, because they grew up with their grandparents being together and everybody around them being together. And suddenly their parents are getting divorced and there wasn't much of a, conversation about it. I think now with kids, if kids get divorced, they can probably go to Reddit and find a divorce thread.
Sure. Well, and that's the other thing. Okay. So just like everything else in a Gen X childhood, where did we learn how to deal with divorce? I personally remember after school
specials.
Yes.
Mm.
I remember watching Jimmy's parents got divorced, and there's Jimmy McNichol crying. And then 4 years later, it was me. But thank God I'd seen the TV show. I was good.
See, and I it surprises me that you say that our like basically boomer parents had more divorces, that we were the product of more divorces than people now, because now I just, you hear so much of it, that 50% of all marriages end in divorce and such. I'm surprised, but maybe I think it does have something to do with Chris saying less people, there's more discernment. They're waiting until they're, so-and-so years old before they go and get that marriage, marry each other.
The lowest marriage rate ever was like 2022, and then it sailed up, but it's down significantly. And again, you got to be careful with that. Half of all marriages end in divorce. That's skewed because of the people that get divorced 2-3 times. So they say half of all marriages end in divorce. About 20% of people get divorced.
Okay.
But it's just some of those divorced people get divorced an awful lot. One foot out the door the first time, they get divorced the second time. By the third time, he forgot to bring the milk home. Fuck you. I'm out the door.
Somebody else on here said that their mother was divorced 4 times, but that was because she married and remarried her father for like 3 times. So I see what you're saying there.
I will say though, I will say though that because we were the kind of the first generation to really, we're the first generation to grow up a lot of interesting stuff. But the fact that we grew up with, somebody said we were probably a social experiment. I kind of believe that as I think about all the different things that were the first in our generation. I think we also, though, if I look at the silver lining or, whatever, the positive side of it is that it made us really resilient. It made us independent. It's why they talk about Gen X just kind of being like our own little generation. And I do think a lot of that has to do with so many of us came from divorce, or both parents were working and were never really around. And so we kind of had to fend for ourselves in a lot of ways. And it made us very independent and made us like not take any crap from anybody. And I think that really is part of what shaped our generation and made us who we are. So I take a positive out of that and say it toughened us up. And it made us independent, and we found our individuality. We weren't like a systematic generation where we all kind of went this way. We were forced to kind of figure out who we were, and we all went in like some different directions. And I think that's the positive in it.
The other positive of it is we formed our own families. So yeah, our family broke up. We're from a broken home. Our parents aren't together, blah, 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 blah. But I think we learned to figure things out on our own, or really find solace in our friends. Maybe we didn't all have huge friend groups, but the friends we had, we learned to lean on, to trust. And I think we've kept that all our lives. I joke all the time. I know a lot of Gen Xers joke about not wanting to people. But you are 2 strangers that I sit with every week that I've never been within 200 miles of. And I consider you my good friends, 2 of my best friends. Yeah. I think we're a weird... we as a generation, we are such a contradiction in terms, and a lot of it is because of the social experiment that we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I mean, I remember so many of my friends in school, their parents are divorced. To have somebody's parents who actually made it through our high school graduation was shocking.
And I think what people like, Rachel from our studio audience says, hubby and I stay together no matter what, so our kids won't experience divorce like we both had as kids. My wife and I sat down and talked to our kids and said, listen, you have to treat your relationship like it is the most valuable piece of fragile something you'll ever own, because if you break it, it's broken. You can glue it back together maybe, and maybe it's still functional. Those cracks are always going to be there. You're always going to see it. Yet you have to treat it, not necessarily so that no matter what happens, we won't get divorced, but so that you won't do those things that would lead to divorce. I think we grew up really aware of that. And then the other thing is, what would lead to divorce? My oldest daughter asked my wife at one point, if you found out tomorrow dad was cheating on you, would you divorce him? And my wife surprised her. She said, well, let me tell you, if you asked me this a year into our marriage, I'd have said, kick the bum out. Now, was it a one-time thing? Is it something we can get over? And my daughter was shocked. She's like, we have kids together. We have a house together. We have finances together. Will it ever be the same again? No. I'll probably make him wish we got divorced every day for the rest of his life. But it doesn't become so easy. And I think that's part of it. So part of it, I hope, is we take better care of our relationships. And then the other part is you better take care of it because it's going to stick anyway. I can't think of a scenario really where my wife and I would not be here for one another. We've been through too much together.
The conversation that we have with our kids, I like your example with the glass that gets broken and you can never really put it back together again. The conversation that we had is that you marry your best friend, like the person who is your best friend, because that is the person you are okay being in the room with them, whether you're having fun, whether you're not having fun, whether you're arguing, whether you're whatever else it is. If it's your best friend, you will find a way to work yourself through it. And we worked through so many problems, I think, as kids on our own, that maybe that's a reason that a lot of us don't get divorced, is because we know how to nurture something, to take care of something. It's almost like that toy, like you could have checked my Barbie when I was a kid and I had all her shoes because we knew that that was precious and you weren't going to get that back again, so you had to take care of what you had. Yeah. And I think marriage works the same way. Let that person be your best friend and you're golden.
And you know what? Better be your best friend, because at some point the boobs are going to drop, the muscles are going to flab, the hair is going to fall out. At some point, everything butterfly-y, and I mean, at least in my experience, it levels out to something. And you better hope what it levels out to is that the person next to you is someone that you love on a much deeper level than just attraction. You'll be attracted hopefully your whole life, but there's more than that too. I married my best friend. I didn't think I could ever be married. The concept of somebody always being around was like, there's not a chance in hell I can do that. But to your point, they can be next to you and you can still be alone. When it fits, it fits.
Yeah.
I'll just hang out with Bodie.
I was waiting for that.
I'll just hang out with my dog, Bodie. He's the best. The
time the three of us will get together is at your wedding.
Nope. It's not going to happen.
You don't know that.
It's not going to happen.
No. Women didn't have credit cards until 1976. That's true.
Oh yeah. Well, wait a minute.
That also allowed women to be divorced. They couldn't live. They needed autonomy.
Well, I'm sitting there. I'm thinking of the Flintstones when Betty and Wilma would go charge it. I guess that was their husband's credit card.
It would be.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. You're Mrs. Scott Oblak. I don't hear that as much anymore as we used to, but they used to refer to a husband and wife as Mr. and Mrs. John Catridis. And I think about it, I'm like, that's horrible. You've literally erased the woman entirely.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin said I'm the smartest guy on here.
It'll be all right, said my best friend is my wife. Yeah, tire biter. I keep seeing that and thinking it says pillow biter. Tire biter says, come on, Chris, you're a catch.
Please, just don't wear a shirt that says my best friend is my wife, please.
Why?
Why?
Don't.
I like the shirts that had the arrows that say I'm with her and I'm with him.
I'm developing one for Valentine's Day that the man says as you wish and the woman says you're damn right. As you wish, Princess Bride.
You guys are just convincing me more and more. I'm good. I get to put skateboard decks on my wall as pieces of art.
Do you look what's around me?
Yeah, that would be unacceptable.
That's your little room. You don't get to do this out in the living room.
No, not in the living room.
No, not at all.
The living room is right there with those lights.
John has a corner, like right there.
And a McLovin poster.
Sure.
Like I can do whatever I want in my house.
And I get to have
makes me happy.
Physical relations on a regular basis. It's okay. I don't need the skateboards.
Who says I don't?
Okay, we're gonna pivot.
John's doing his whole years as well too.
You flushed big time. Chris is always the one that is very conscious of the fact that he has a business persona, and every now and again he'll open the door to inappropriateness and then slam it shut as soon as he possibly can. All right, so
I am staying strong, Scott.
I'm starting to see some guesses coming in. So it's 59 minutes after the fact. We went actually a little long on all three segments, but we talked about Sonny and Cher. We talked about Saturday Night Live. We talked about divorce. Now, there is something that connects those three topics. And now is the time when anybody and everybody can raise their hand and throw it out there. Let's see. I saw Zsa Zsa Gabor. That's an interesting one because, yeah, she probably was a guest on a variety show. I don't know if she was ever on SNL. Maybe. And she definitely got divorced a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not Zsa Zsa.
I can't pick up Bodhi CSF. And it's Bodhi. He's named after Patrick Swayze in Point Break because he's a 70-pound pit bull and he's sleeping right over here right now. So
beautiful dog, horrible movie.
What? Point Break, horrible movie? Are you nuts?
Dude, I'm an FBI agent, dude.
Back off, War Child. It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Surf for Dudes, an FBI agent. That was believable. J-Lo,
awesome.
Another good guess, but no. Sonny and Cher got divorced but remained business partners for decades. Same was true of I Love Lucy. Yep, Lucille Ball is a thing. Hey, did you guys see the stat that I posted this week? That Beverly Hills 90210 is as old today as I Love Lucy was when it went on the air.
Wow.
So today's kids would view 90210 the way we viewed I Love Lucy.
Wow. I've never seen a single episode of 90210. I hated that crap.
How could you hate it if you never saw it?
I saw like bits and pieces of it, and it was all like, oh my God, high school. And I just was like, I can't do this.
I like Melrose Place. I actually did like Melrose Place. I got to say that. I watched a little bit of 90210. I watched it ironically, as kids would say. Donna Martin Graduates is one of the funniest episodes of any show, and it wasn't intended to be, but it was hilarious. I'm not seeing it. I really thought somebody, where are you, Linda? Linda Duncan. Let's hear it. You've got this.
Oh, she said she had it, right?
Yeah.
That's right. War Child. Back off, War Child.
Why, did you say it wrong?
No, somebody said War Child in the.
Is the connection Tom Arnold? No, not Tom Arnold. Do you guys know?
Bill Murray.
How's it Bill Murray?
Somebody mentioned Groundhog Day, and then I just thought about it. Today's Groundhog Day, and he would have been on Saturday Night Live, and I don't know anything about his relationships, but I'm assuming he was in the he may have been divorced or something, and then he may have shown up in an early variety show.
Well, I know Linda said Groundhog Day, and then I lost it, so I'm going to give it to Linda. Bill Murray's not the connection. Groundhog Day actually is the connection. Number one, today's Groundhog Day, but specifically Sonny and Cher, there she is. Linda says, the second you said Sonny and Cher, I had it. Because every morning, Bill Murray wakes up and hears I Got You, Babe, from Sonny and Cher playing on the alarm clock radio. Bill Murray, of course, was one of the cast members of Saturday Night Live. And while he filmed, since Groundhog Day is the connection, the divorce has to fit the movie. While he was filming the movie, he personally was going through a divorce. So Sonny and Cher's song, I Got You, Babe, was playing on the radio during the movie. SNL. Okay, Bill Murray was at SNL, and he was getting divorced. And today's Groundhog Day, so I figured it would be a fun thing to bring up because today's Groundhog's Day. So there you go. Groundhog Day is, in fact, the connection. And he saw his shadow today, which in Charlotte doesn't bother me much.
I'm only like 45 minutes from Punxsutawney.
That doesn't surprise me.
At least he didn't get dropped on his head today.
I went to college in Indiana, Pennsylvania, and it was right down the road.
But where you went to college curriculum only went to the 4th grade. So
I mean, I love the movie Groundhog Day. So.
I hated it like poison when it first came out, and now it's a very rare movie that I hated it initially, and I really enjoy it now. Now we watch it every year on Groundhog Day. I enjoy it. There's a lot of cool trivia, things that I've learned about it over the years that are fun. The cast is great. Andy McDowell I had a crush on when I was younger. I just think it's a great movie. How long do you think he's stuck in the loop?
I have no
They
idea.
show 38 days in the movie. If you count how many times the movie replays the day, they show 38 actual days out of the time that he was stuck there.
Somebody
in the script, I will tell you, the original script had him stuck in the loop for 10,000 years.
Oh,
And then they dialed it back because they thought that would be a bit much. But he's in there for a very specific amount of time, in which time he learns to play the piano, learns different languages, learns how to... He's there for a while. So much so that it almost drives him crazy, and he tries to kill himself before he finally accepts it. But let me hear your guesses. Hot Chick says about a year. She says 367 days. JTR, you're right. 10,000 was what it was originally going to be, but they didn't stick with it.
I'm going to go Price is Right and just say 1.
10 years. Time loops itself for 10 years. That's how he's able to learn all those things and memorize every day down to the minute, because he redoes that day every day for 10 years.
interesting.
What else do I know about it?
Somebody
He's
mentioned
bitten twice by the groundhog and had to go through rabies treatments. Bill Murray.
Somebody
Really?
mentioned the variety show. How does that connect? And it connected because Sonny and Cher was a variety show, and in the movie Groundhog Day, he woke up every day to "I Got You, Babe."
Yep, they're singing "I Got You, Babe."
Yeah.
So Sonny and Cher was the first topic, not specifically variety shows. It was specifically Sonny and Cher,
Well, that's
and
right.
they're singing "I Got You, Babe" on his alarm clock every morning.
That
Take
reminds
that.
me of Drew Barrymore.
I think I typed it in wrong and said variety shows
Ah,
and not Sonny and Cher. That was my
Gotcha.
bad. Yeah.
But that reminds me, the Groundhog Day always reminds me of the movie with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, where she has the amnesia.
51st Dates.
51st Days. Love that movie. Love that movie. Thought that was fantastic.
Me too.
That
is
was
that
random.
Josie Grossi? No, that's a different one.
Sean Astin plays such a ridiculous character in that movie. But also then like there's Edge of Tomorrow, which was kind of like a sci-fi version of Groundhog Day, which is really, really good with Tom Cruise, where he gets killed and he keeps coming back and he has to go back in. And each time he gets killed, he has to start over. It's
Yeah.
actually really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, John. I was just going to say,
I love the movie. I thought Bill Murray was perfect in it. He was the perfect blend of being a jerk and then transposing, growing, adjusting to being a nice person. Tom Hanks was originally slated for the role. It was written for him. But the director, you know, the director of who's you're a big fan of the director, Chris. What was his name?
For Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
I can't think
He
of it.
decided at the end of the day that Tom Hanks was just too nice to play that part of it. Ramis, I think.
Oh, Harold Ramis?
Harold Ramis.
Oh,
Yeah, Harold Ramis is the director.
all right.
I'm wrong? I thought you were a fan of Harold Ramis.
I am. Yeah.
Well, he's the director.
Ever since I saw him in Stripes back in the day.
Bill Murray and Chevy Chase hated each other. That's the way the story goes. Back on SNL, they were not fans of one another.
They're still not.
They're not?
I don't think so.
But you both seen Groundhog Day.
I have seen it, but it was not one of those ones that I could watch over and over again. Like, I don't know what
No
kind of
pun intended.
celebrations go on at your house, John, but like, are you watching like Valentine movies and like President's Day movies and like, you know, because like you watch a Groundhog Day for Groundhog Day, your
It's
family
a
watches.
feel-good movie, and so it's like here's an opportunity. Plus, they play it every Groundhog Day, so it's on TV, so we watch it. I don't know of many Valentine's Day movies they play or What President Day movie do they play every President's Day? Shell.
None. I'm just saying, but I didn't
All
think
right,
they
then
would
I
put
guess
that
then your
in
analogy
there
doesn't
either.
work.
They
Does
should,
it?
they should play Point Break on President's Day.
Do
because
you
they have
watch
President's
Christmas
Mass.
Vacation every Christmas?
Oh, hell yeah.
Because they play it every Christmas.
I didn't know they played Groundhog Day.
Christmas!
I would've thought that would have been like, I don't know. We know it's about Groundhog Day, but I didn't know it was that popular still.
It is still that popular.
They
And
should. They should play Point Break on President's Day. I'm going to recommend
Uh-huh.
that because they have the
Mhm.
president's masks. So there you go.
There you go.
Just to upset
Horrible
you.
movie. Horrible movie. And I've seen it.
No, you prefer Beaches over Point Break, and that says
Beaches
enough.
is a beautiful, tender movie. You shut your dirty mouth.
We should have a very special episode where we turn around like it's Mystery Science Theater 3000 and like go black and start talking about like what are the movies that you secretly either didn't see or
We
hated.
talked about it, but we'd get on Christmas. I tried to watch. I had a viewing of Gremlins and Die Hard, and I got copyright strikes all over the place. It doesn't work.
No, I mean just
Even though they should allow it because it advertises their damn movie, they won't let us show it.
Well, I like the connection, John. I thought you did a great job here in connecting something very relevant, let's see, what is today's date? The 2nd. So, well, yeah, Groundhog Day, duh, 2nd. Duh.
When I grew up, everybody always thinking when they heard my birthday was February 1st, my entire Groundhog Day is one of those days that everybody knows is early February, but they can't really place it. So I grew up everybody being like, oh, your birthday's on Groundhog Day. And I'm like, no, it's not. No.
I forgot. You said it was Sunday. I forgot you said it was Sunday.
I know you did.
Happy birthday.
No, it
but I
doesn't
told
count
you
now.
not
We made it
to.
through an entire hour with you guys not acknowledging that yesterday was my birthday. I thought I'd throw it in at the end, but I'm pissed now. Yeah, you completely.
Wait,
Birthday.
you're a guy. Your birthday is on that day, and that's it, and you move on.
Doesn't
It's
mean
the
you don't
next-
get to say it doesn't. Well, Shell didn't text me yesterday either, although you did, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, I texted him an image of Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, and I was like, "Happy birthday, old man!"
And a heart and said, "I love you, bro."
Heart.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, if it's Shell's birthday, then we'll be celebrating it for the month.
It's
But
called
if it's-
Shelmas,
But if
okay?
it's your birthday or John's birthday, it's going to
You
be that
do a
day.
birthday month. You don't do that crap, do you?
No, I'm kidding. No.
Ugh.
No, my birthday means not like I don't really give a crap. Like it doesn't really matter to me.
And John was the first one to hit 60 of the group. So it was a big birthday for John yesterday.
I will arm wrestle you right now. Arm wrestle. I suck at them. I'm crushing your head. Crushing your head. Spielberg this weekend joined the EGOT Club. Congratulations, 1 year less of life. Okay, where's that ban button?
Oh,
Thank you, hot chick.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you.
very
I
happy
think,
birthday,
Rachel.
John.
Thank you, Luna. Yeah, the entire episode. That's why last year, if you look back, you'll see last year I also hosted the episode near my birthday, and I made me the topic.
That's right, you did. Oh,
And you sounded like Claire in
very
16 Candles.
narcissistic.
And it worked. I don't know how. It worked. I don't remember what the topics were.
I don't
Thank
remember
you,
the
Barry.
topics either.
You-
Super Bowl was one of them. Super Bowl was one of your topics.
Because it was on my birthday when they went wide right. It was my birthday weekend.
You sounded like Claire in 16 Candles right there.
When?
Yeah.
I can't believe you forgot my birthday.
My grandmother also felt me up. So, I mean. All right. So, another weekly installment of the Three View Mirror has come and gone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're
Shell
watching
has
on
something to
replay,
say.
come
Shell
catch us
has
live.
something to say. She's got her hands up.
No, I was just like, wait a minute. So wait, you're going to be next weekend. So that's the 9th. So then I get to do something. I maybe get to do something Valentine-y.
Because I'm not, just so you know.
You
I
can
am the 9th, but I just, so everybody knows, there'll be nothing Valentine's Day.
You did Valentine last year, if I recall.
Did I?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
but
did.
you kept calling it Valentine's Day like an oldie person. It was very annoying.
Valentine's Day.
I did
It was
not.
Valentine's.
Valentine.
Will you be my Valentine?
He just keeps mispronouncing things. Valentine's Day. You know, I think he threw Saint Valentine's Day out there.
Yeah.
That's
well,
all. That's all I had to say.
you can have the Valentine's Day show.
I
So
got it.
next week
I'll
is
figure
Chris.
something out.
If you're watching on a replay, I was going to say, come see us virtually live. Be part of our studio audience where we show your comments across the screen. And we do that every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See ya.
Stay rad, everybody.
See ya.
I'm trying. Why do I have to be in charge of this? 1 minute and I give up.
I already did it.
Doing it.
We got it.
Comments are still coming in.
There it is. See ya.
It's still not. Mine still says